Okay, so today we're going to finish our balloon color wheels. If you remember from last class, we painted the primary colors after drawing our 7 balloons. So the first thing I want you to do, you should have a red, a yellow, and a blue that are painted in every other balloon. Your number of balloons should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you should have a last and final 7th balloon at the bottom. Before we start our secondary colors, which we'll do in just a minute, I want you to go ahead and paint in that 7th balloon red, because that is going to be what creates our red violet color here at the end of class. So before we move on to painting secondary colors, give that last 7th balloon a good coating of red. And by doing that first, we're giving it time to dry a little bit before we're ready to move on and paint it. Remember from last class, if you want to make it look more three-dimensional, just add a second coat of paint to one side so that it creates that 3D effect. Okay, so now that we have finished up our reds, the first thing we're going to do is follow the color wheel. So red is number 1, yellow is number 3. That means that our number 2 is going to be orange. And when you look at your paints, it should show you red, yellow, orange is going to be the color on top. And you are just going to paint in that whole section there. Actually, I don't think that is the orange I want. I think I'm going to use this one on the end. There we go. That seems like a better orange. Really just paint that in as best you can. If you go outside the lines like I just did, it is okay. All right, and what you should notice as you begin to paint is that the colors begin to mix where they overlap. And that color that it creates is your intermediate or tertiary colors. On the other side, if you follow directions correctly the first day, you should have an overlap with yellow as well. And with the orange and yellow overlap, you should be getting a nice yellow-orange color. Because remember we talked about balloons are see-through, so you would see not only the color of the balloon, but also some hint of color of the balloon behind it. And remember, you can also fill in a little extra paint on one side to really make it stand out and look more three-dimensional. Now, after you paint your orange, remember to really give your brush a good scrub in the water bowl. Wipe on the sponge. After yellow, we would have green following the color wheel. And let me just move my paper up a little bit. And you'll notice the same thing with the green. Where the colors overlap, you will get a nice intermediate or tertiary color. I say tertiary or intermediate simply because you can call it either one. Either one is an acceptable name for those intermediate colors. And you should get a nice yellow-green. And on the opposite side, we should get a nice blue-green. Now, your last balloon, you're going to paint in purple. And you should get a blue-violet where it overlaps, and a red-violet where it overlaps with your red 7th balloon. All right, guys, get to painting.